One of the great things that we learn as feminist scholars is that even in spaces that are defined as male institutions, there are women making it possible. So, you know, the great myth of a woman behind every man, well, there are lots and lots of women behind and within every institution doing vast amounts of work to ensure that the institution flourishes. Mabel Smith Douglass talked about the college as being built as much by the students as by her. And it's really important to remember that when the college opened in 1918, women did not yet have voting rights in the United States. So when she created a government association through consultation with the students that gave her as dean and the faculty and the students equal voting rights, they were doing an experiment in democratic self-governance that they did not have any experience of in the political world. The rules governing participation in the college required that you wore hat and gloves every time you went off campus. You had to dress formally for dinner. So Mabel Smith Douglass was producing a particular image of an educated woman who was thoroughly civilized and bourgeois and represented a particular kind of respectability. Many of the women's colleges at that time still had predominantly male faculty because that was who was educated. So Mabel Smith Douglass started hiring women to teach languages. She was one of the first people to think about language instruction by native speakers, French speakers, German speakers, Spanish speakers, the first Italian speakers. The first language houses were staffed by women immigrants who were speaking their native languages and teaching the young women. Mabel Smith Douglass believed in international overseas studies. So she took donations from the students, the language students. They would give like a nickel a week into a pool that would, over the course of the year, accrue funds that would enable one student to go study in Italy or in Germany or in France or in Spain. And they took their overseas experience and brought it back to the college. Mabel Smith Douglass firmly believed that the education needed to be practical to help the young women to get jobs when they graduated, but she also believed in the liberal arts. So they all had to take history courses, Western civilization, they had to take English courses, literature courses. If you look at higher education in the United States now, 57% to 62%, depending on which region, of the students enrolled are women. So the argument is, women are the majority of students, everything is equal, you know, nothing more need to be done. When you think about a college, people think about a physical space, they think about friendship networks, they think about generational relations, students and alums, they usually think about a faculty, they usually think about a particular intellectual orientation, a curriculum, certain kinds of majors dominate others. The challenge for Douglass Residential College was to perpetuate a meaningful college experience, but everyone who comes up in our society is subjected to the racial ideology, the gender ideology that percolates through public culture, media, and those ideologies still privilege white men. So the kind of education you get at a women's college is a kind of counter-socialization that actually has you confront head-on biases against you, that call attention to hidden curriculums that privilege men. I mean, if you read traditional histories, if you read traditional philosophy, there is all kinds of stuff about the inferiority of women and people of color that just gets passed over as if it's not there. Well, you have critical race teachers, you've got feminist teachers in a women's college. They're working on the development of the whole field of women's and gender studies, on the field of Africana studies, Latino and Caribbean studies. And they are using this new research to help young women think about, oh, why am I afraid of success? How can I take advantage of networks with women alumna to move into internships, to have doors open for me? How can I learn from the experiences of the generations of women who have gone before me? And at Douglass, the loyalty to this college is phenomenal.